Hey guys, welcome to the channel, to the diary part 3 of making a documentary. So last episode we left off, I was leaving courtside, coming back here home to Ventura. I shot a lot more footage actually after that video because the trip home was very eventful. First off, I bought the ticket for the wrong day. I bought it for the night instead of the morning of. So it was like, that was a screw up. Then when I bought the appropriate day, early morning, it somehow decided to be canceled. So something happened to the bus. The bus broke down. I don't know what happened. And then I was stuck in courtside. Greyhound only has one bus out, so you have to wait a whole week. I had to wait like another week before there was another available seat. So we had to do an emergency drive to Phoenix, fly out of Phoenix to LAX, take a bus to Ventura. It was a nightmare situation. And it's all recorded, and it may all be part of the film, or it might be just another little like scene, but it's basically me freaking out. So I'll spare you the planes, trains, automobiles element to this because, you know, travel is not really part of a documentary, right? So I got home. Now, just to remind you what cameras we used a iPhone 11 shot 4K 24 frames per second. We have an iPhone 13 that's recording this. Again, shot 4K 24 frames per second. And then we have a GoPro 9 with the media mod, which we used again at the same frame rate and resolution. So we had our 3 devices, and during that week of shooting, I was trying to upload as much as I could to Google Drive. So my Google Drive right here had all my files, and let's see here, courtside. How many files did we wind up getting? I mean, we used a lot, about 300 gigs. No, 260 gigs for 4 days of shooting. That's a lot. We have around, around 300, like 250 or so videos. So a lot of footage and a lot of videos. Started off having some issues. So first off, getting it all on the cloud, getting it off the phone onto the cloud. Okay, that's one. Then moving it on the cloud to an external hard drive. I have a little, 1 terabyte hard drive. And so we did that. So that could be done, right? So that's not too hard. It just takes a long time to upload to the cloud, download to a device, get that done. So get it off the phone, delete it off the phone, get it on my hard drive. Now, the big issue was the codecs. The 11 was shooting in a codec H.265, which is the newest codecs for video. The 13 was H.264, which is a little bit older one. The 264, the older codecs, doesn't compress it as much, but it was playable. I could play it. 265 would not play. It's a little more compressed. It could not play. I couldn't find a damn thing to play it. Now I could play it on here, right? So they all could play on the Google Drive, right? I could sit here, we can open it up, and we can play these guys, right? Here we are, a little beef footage of me walking around. That's not a problem. But when you download it as a file on your hard drive, it would not play through anything. I couldn't get it to work. So I had to freaking figure out how to change the codec. So after trying Handlebrake, now I'm using a PC that is 12 years old. It's an AMD processor that only has 2 cores. It has 16 gigs of RAM, which is fine. It's got a decent video card, but the processing power is pretty low. I tried handbrake. The problem with handbrake was I'm using Windows 8.1. Yeah, dude, 8.1. So the operating system was having problems with handbrake. I couldn't get the right version of handbrake. I went through a bunch of ways to do it. Finally, I found this encoder called Shutter Encoder, and was able to convert like over half of the files, because almost everything I shot with this guy, over 100 files I had to then convert into the codecs that was readable, the 264. So that took days. Like legit, this took days to do. I've been here for 2 weeks and I'm just like getting footage in a format that is proper. Now, so next time when I go on a trip, everything's going to be 264. We're not going to freak with 265. 264 because it's compatible and I can get going. But I had to encode it. So now I have everything on my hard drive. Now it's all encoded in the proper format. Now let's edit this bastard, right? Well, Premiere was giving me problems. I didn't want to use Premiere. This is an older computer. I heard about this software called Davinci Resolve. It's free. You can buy the studio version for $300, which gives you a couple more bells and whistles. But generally speaking, it's free. Studio will read those newer codecs, the 265s. I didn't want to pay $300 just to see if this works, so I converted them because I'm still using the free one. So I started working on it, but then the computer started crashing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, the computer's crashing. Is it crashing because I'm working with 4K files? Is it crashing because it just can't handle the process, the processing of this? Is it because I tried to install the damn handbrake and that kind of like jacked it up? What was going on? I don't know. So the problem then became, okay, I can't get Davinci to Resolve to work on this. What am I going to do? I'm going to buy a new computer. What's going to happen? So luckily, a Patreon, that's right, one of you guys, let me borrow his fancy dancy laptop. I think it's called a Razer Blade 15. Let me switch the camera over to this station. I got a new station now that I can start working, and we'll show you how that goes. Okay, so now I'm using this. This is a Blade 15. This freaking laptop is a beast. This is a great laptop. It's heavy. It's metal. It is like crunchy. It will crunch. I love this thing already. So I'm borrowing this. I'm going to have to buy a desktop if I'm going to edit this in 4K. I need power. So I got to do it. So until then, though, luckily I'm using this. I'm just hooking it up to an old TV. So I've got this TV here. I'll move the camera up a little bit. And HDMI connected to that. So now I have it all in my drive. It's all here. And now I can actually start using Davinci Resolve. Right?
And it is so quaint.
And so
it is like
we're editing. We can saw the videos, stuff like that.
Old Western,
So that's good. That's all positive.
Yeah, it was John and I that.
Right now, I've went through every video, and I'm just organizing with notes. I have a notebook here on every video. I have like stars for like things that I like, things that I want to include, little notes of like what's kind of B-roll, atmospheric stuff, what is like an important element to a story, all that. So notes over all like 270 or so videos, okay? It's all noted up, and now I'm using Davinci Resolve, which I've never used. I'm kind of just winging this. I'm gonna watch some YouTube videos to kind of like learn a little bit more. But I'm just winging it. I'm compiling it, just kind of stitching it all together in this kind of format, and then the next bit will be putting this together. I want to put some music here as well. we'll get some music going. I might, I got some folky, weird stuff. I might play with the coloring, that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm doing right now. It's just doing kind of this weird rough cut. I want to find some music, and that's where we are. So that's part 3. This is it. We are doing the laborious part of filmmaking and storytelling, which is sifting through the footage and finding something that's coherent. I've never done this really, not on this scale. And I'm just to try to. Originally, I was kind of doing like this, like greatest hits, right? Like, oh, these are these little moments where my mom's being funny or something kind of weird is happening. But I realized that there's not a cohesive story. There's not like, it doesn't go into the next part. It's just like these weird little bits. So I need the boring bits in there too to kind of like keep the story going. And I have to think of it all as a script. Like everything that is said is like a dialogue and a script that goes to the next part that furthers the story. So it's quite complicated. It's almost like writing a script in reverse, where you have everything and now you have to go back and try to piece it together and make it coherent and maybe flip things around. And that's a lot harder than just writing. You know what I mean? Beginning, middle, end. Just writing it. That's easy. This sifting through it and trying to find things is a challenge. Again, I'm just shooting from the hip. So today I'm going to work on this some more. Going to maybe watch some videos on Resolve and just learn the program a bit more. And that's where we're at. So thank you all for watching. And we'll do part 4 with maybe something exciting happening. Okay. Thanks, guys.